It was important for me as an administrator to shine the light.
And you learn through that process how important everybody is. You can't ever forget it. For me, stress is a problem without a solution.
When you do that well, I think it transcends your facility.
We need to have some conversations with those that are excelling.
It's just like lighting cash on fire. The operators certainly feel like it's us, like they're against them. Versus like really what you want is
Collaborative effort.
tell us about what your struggle is so that we can understand and appreciate that when we're interacting with you.
I mean, that's what it's going to take. If we're really going to improve patient outcomes and experiences, it's got to be a group effort.
Right.
You're going to have to come together.
Welcome to Our Purpose Podcast, the podcast where stories from skilled nursing and long-term care come to life. I'm your host, Kip Kruger, a voice shaped by lived experience, faith, and a deep belief that every person in care deserves dignity, compassion, and a champion in their corner. We're going to talk about lots of fun things here. Your co-hosts, James Dieter, Chris Light. Good to be here, guys.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, for sure.
This is fun. So, James, let's get into it. Why are we here? I've never done a podcast before. It's fun. It's entertaining so far. It's fun. Episode 1. Why are we here?
Yeah, I think the impetus for this podcast came with just pushing the quality culture in long-term care, right? So, we all know each other through work. We work together, and what we've done has been really innovative in trying to come up with new solutions to old problems. As we continue to push quality throughout our organization, it's been a strong belief that we could actually help kind of bring that culture to the industry as a whole. And I think that would be, probably one of my biggest points of why I want to do this.
Yeah.
Because I want to get those stories out of who's doing it right. And then others will follow. High tide rises all boats.
What's our purpose mean to you? That's a good one. Different name. Where'd it come from?
Yeah, so our purpose was really, I think, devised out of our core values, right? So our purpose is the patients, right? Period. That's why we do this. There's a lot of different areas we could work, a lot of ways to make money out there. I think the interest comes from a major focus to improve patient outcomes and experiences. That's the purpose. We're here for the patients. We want to talk about the patients and what works for the patients.
Good.
Yeah.
So, Chris, talk to me, man. Who's Chris Light? Tell the audience the light of the world. Who's the light of the world?
The light of the world. I mean, professionally, I serve as our chief operating officer, but my background is highly entrepreneurial in the lab space and a couple other companies. And so I've been primarily focused in long-term care for, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years now, and really developed I guess like a huge caring for long-term care. Obviously, this is part of that, coming out of that. And I think the industry as a whole generally does a really good job. I think outside of the industry looking in, I think a lot of people have negative connotations when you think of nursing homes. But I think inside there's a lot of fantastic people and a lot of good things that are happening. And I generally think from the outsider's perspective that a lot of people are just uneducated on the confines of the business, so to speak, right? And so, the easiest example of that is if you go to a Holiday Inn sets their rates, and that doesn't happen in long-term care. And so all of us are working really, really diligently to do the best with what we have to work with at the end of the day, right? And so there are really a lot of folks who are doing a great job. I think we're one of those people. And so I think part of this whole idea of the podcast was to really share that kind of stuff, bringing guests who are doing well, things that we see. We have a good view because we work with so many folks across different geographies. And so, I think that's it.
Lots of folks through the industry.
Yeah. What about you, Kip? What's your story?
Man, my story is long. Nursing home administrator for 12 years. Enjoyed the space. I'm sure some of you may know. We'll say it first. The TikTok. I was a TikTok nursing home administrator. That was fun. I did it for 12 years. I actually was doing really cool stuff with my nursing home residents before TikTok was even a thing. I did it in San Antonio. I first started in San Antonio. And probably one of the coolest things was the send-off. So we did a send-off. I'm not sure if you've seen it. If we could pull some videos up, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it basically was a red carpet rollout. So we were sending patients who were going home from rehab. They came to our facility, rehabbed back up, and they went home. They were our VIPs. And we rolled the red carpet out,
that's awesome.
had like a red rope, and we all clapped together and sang "Celebrate" by Kool and the Gang.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We sang that and we sent them off. We actually did not start in San Antonio. I started it in Wichita Falls, and nursing home administrator there, and started doing TikToks, just kind of doing the same thing, shining a light on long-term care. There was, during that time, it was right outside of COVID. So people really wanted to see like good, positive feelings.
Yeah.
And we showcased that and we put it on some videos and they went viral. I think the most viral one was a turkey. I was in a turkey costume for Thanksgiving. And before Christmas, I told my activity director, I was like, hey, bring out the Christmas trees and I'm going to run in and outside of the Christmas trees and let our residents shoot me with a Nerf gun. And we
like hunting.
Yeah. It's hunting. And at the end, like I laid down and like that was their turkey hunting fun, I think.
Yeah.
But we always ended it with, that's how you make people smile. That's how you make people feel appreciated. Like that, those are the things that matter. And I think that's one thing that I'm excited about with this is that James came and you both came with an idea. I was like, hey, let's do a podcast. I'm like, wow, okay. And we got to thinking about it. I was like, man, there's so many really cool stories in long-term care that we're going to be able to showcase and we're going to be able to let people tell. I think there's so many wonderful things that can combat the negative.
Right.
And I'm excited to do that. It's going to be fun traveling all over, seeing all of our clients, seeing all of our partners and letting them tell their story.
100%. I mean, I think that this is going to be equally educational, a little bit about advocacy, just real life stories, getting to hear what's working out there, what's not working. And I think it's really going to be the stories and the people that come up and tell those that's going to make a difference, right? My goal is that there's going to be folks out there listening to this that hear something and go, I'm going to do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then that's going to have a positive experience moving forward. So
what's your goal with this? What do you want to accomplish?
I'm just excited to kind of be part of it. I think we'll cover things like current events, things that are real. Like obviously the big, beautiful bill just happened. That's a major impact. But I think mainly what I enjoy most is building people and building business, right? And people make that up. And so we compare our business all the time to skilled nursing because it's similar in a lot of ways from a people standpoint. And so I just truly enjoy building people like that and trying to speak to other people who are doing it on, in a kind of parallel business, so to speak, a complementary business, not a competitive business, but to do more of that and kind of share some of those stories. I'm looking to learn from a lot of these people, hopefully, and share some of that of what's going on in skilled nursing.
Good. I think my biggest question, I guess some of the audience question is like, how often are we going to do this? This is a pretty rare opportunity that we're all going to be able to sit in this room together. So episode 1, maybe we'll do 2 together as well. But how often are we dropping these? What's the guidelines? What's the option for us?
Are we making commitments on episode 1?
Wow. Should we? Maybe we shouldn't.
I think it's safe to say we're going to put one out every couple weeks.
Yeah.
Being in the same room is not going to happen.
Sure.
But we're going to do some remote stuff. We'll get it together. Put it out.
I like that. That sounds good.
Yeah.
What else can the audience expect? We covered current news. We shared educational stuff. What else?
From my standpoint, like I really hope to share a lot about, I'm heavily involved with, just the health plans, understanding the economics of skilled nursing to the best we can, how it plays in with legislation.
Yeah.
Chris mentioned the one big, beautiful bill, what kind of impacts it had on Medicaid and how that's going to funnel on down and flow down to to the skilled facilities. And, I think we're going to talk about assisted livings, home health, home care, kind of like the general long-term care space here. So, but from the standpoint of, legislation impacts from the health plans, the payers, population health management, I'm really going to try to cover as much of that as possible, and be bringing on some folks that are really experts in that, in those fields, that we can ask some good questions to, and I'll learn more and more and more about. But yeah, that should be good.
So a home for everybody. A home for everybody to share their purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
nursing home administrators, DONs, everybody in the spectrum.
Yeah, I think the guest list is going to get quite diverse as far as people that we interact with on here. And I don't think it's set in stone yet. I think we've all kind of kicked around a handful of ideas that I think we know will work well, but we'll just kind of see how it goes. So back to your commitment question, I kind of think of it as like, I'm good for 10 and we'll see how it goes after that.
If it goes well, we'll do 10 more.
If we're TikTok viral like you, maybe we'll do more. I mean,
maybe we could.
Not counting on it.
Can we ask our producer if we can put this on TikTok? For sure, right? Okay, good. We can do it.
There you go.
That'd be fun.
Done.
Oh, perfect.
Good. Lovely.
All right, let's get into it. Let's ask some questions. Ask some good questions. I know you got some good ones. Ask us to kick us off, James.
I think it'd be interesting. We're going to really dive in. Episode 1.
Sure.
I'm going to dive in. I think we can talk a little bit about just. I'd like to hear a little bit about like disease management in skilled nursing. Right. I think that's where a lot of folks have questions about the big ones. Right. So you have sepsis, you have pneumonia, and how it affects rehospitalizations, recidivism.
Yeah.
You're an administrator.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk a little bit about, what tactics are used to decrease rehospitalizations in skilled nursing?
I would say from my career and experience, I'll go with hand washing.
Really?
That was huge.
Is that effective?
We thought, maybe it suggests otherwise, but hand washing was super important for incontinent care. Having the nurses demonstrate proper hand washing techniques before and after. I think that often gets overlooked because they're going from patient to patient to patient. And I feel like the infection rate can skyrocket if proper hand washing techniques are not used.
I mean, it's common sense, but yes, it's important to wash hands.
It's funny you say that. I spoke to a wound care nurse like a couple weeks ago. This is at a dinner you were at too. And she had moved on from wound care to a different company. But I was like, what's the secret of wound care? Like, for how long you've been doing it? And, what she said was washing the wound.
Washing the wound.
Yeah, that's right. She did say that.
I was like, what about like lab testing and antibiotics and all? She's like, washing the wound and making sure that the dressing is fresh. She's like, and if you can manage that, like everything else goes really well.
Isn't that so many different areas though? Just showing up.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yep.
Do a good job.
Do the small things.
Do your job.
I think the small things are so important because just not washing hands. Like I feel like some of the wounds maybe she was referring to were so close to the coccyx area and having like BM in that area and not properly taking your time, doing the right things, increased infection, increased improper healing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like bare minimum, right? We talk about bare minimum. It's like do the job you're hired to do. That's bare minimum. That's what people expect you to do.
Yeah.
But if you do it really well and you can do it for a large amount of people, that's like becomes spectacular, I
mean, scaling bare minimum's challenging.
100%.
Right? To get a lot of people to do a good job becomes tougher and tougher. I mean, that's what we're working on. So difficult. I mean, working on it all the time.
Yeah.
That was huge too. I mean, the CNAs who were in all of the facilities, they have a tough job.
Mm-hmm.
Tough job. And I felt, and I hope that many people who worked alongside me would say that I appreciated them. And I think just showing the appreciation of just the hard work that they do on a day in and day out basis was important. And I think the more that you could show them that you cared, and we talk about culture all the time at PHS, I think that's super important. but just showing people that you care and that you trust what they do to do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And you give them just the ability, the comfort level to actually perform.
Yeah. You make people feel good generally. Like that's kind
You
of
think
your,
so?
Yeah, I think your aura is like aura.
I like that.
Who am I?
Sound like my 16-year-old.
I think no, but you generally make people feel good. That's why you're super connected. Like
Thank you.
You people like to be around you, right? You're happy and like I think, and so I would just be curious. Like I think naturally that would probably come to you anyway. Like I obviously didn't know you when you were an administrator, but I can like see you as an administrator doing all the things we've talked about. And so I would just say like specifically like, what did you do to a CNA to make them feel that you cared, other than just, hey, how you doing, right? Like, but there's so much more to it.
Yeah, I mean, part of that comes from listening, right?
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just making sure they're heard.
I felt like, I think one thing that we did, or one thing that we as a group did, is a monthly team member meeting. And so I did t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a different color t-shirt every month.
Like
And-
everybody wore the same T-shirt.
Everyone wore the same t-shirt.
Now he only makes them for himself.
Yep.
Because I still see you in your t-shirts all the time.
I made a
I
t-shirt.
guarantee you'll have a podcast T-shirt.
I'm wearing one next time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one. Get one
probably an
done.
undershirt right now.
Yeah. we made t-shirts,
Mhm.
and I put a slogan on the back. Like, I remember one was "Love Others,"
Mm-hmm.
and so during that month in that meeting, you only got a t-shirt if you came to the meeting.
All right. Yeah.
And so during that meeting, we would talk about all the good things.
Sure.
And those meetings were specifically directed at bringing the good things that you've done. Because I feel like in long-term care, and probably for any space for that matter, you can really dwell on the negative.
For sure.
And it was important for me as an administrator to shine the light.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that ending of the monthly meeting, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour,
Yeah.
depending on how long you took, was a thing on the back. Love others, others first, or something like that on the back. Or be a light. Be a light was one of them too. But it was just encouraging.
Be a light.
Be a light. Light.
I didn't get that one.
I should make you one. I'll make you one next time. But that was it. It was. I think it was listening to them, but also just encouraging them that their job is hard,
Yep.
super hard.
Yeah.
Having them understand their importance.
Yeah.
They're super important. I mean, even the people in the kitchen, even the housekeepers, everybody. I think
Yeah.
I treated everybody with the same amount of respect, no matter if you were a DON or if you were a regional or you were housekeeper. I think everyone was super important.
Yeah.
And equally important. And we kind of flipped the hierarchy, whatever, like on the top, flipped it backwards and put I tried to put myself on the bottom and make
Inverse
other people
pyramid.
reverse pyramid.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting with, you mentioned everyone's important. I think as an entrepreneur, we learn that, right? As doing startups, you do every job.
Yeah.
Everybody takes out the trash and everybody does the bank account. And this, I mean, you end up doing every job in the company and you learn through that process how important everybody is. You can't ever forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes a little bit easier, you know, if you're an entrepreneur to understand that point.
Can we talk about stress?
Do we have to?
Have you seen his picture when we started the company?
That's good.
I was at
I'll
dinner.
just say
I was at dinner the other
he
night.
looks a little younger.
I was at dinner actually in Florida with one of Chris's friends, and he's 38, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick's like 38. We're sitting at dinner, and I'm sitting there, and I'm with my son, and he's a teenager. And the guy comes over, and he's like opening a bottle of wine, and he goes, "Would your two sons like a glass as well?" And I was like, "Come again? What do you mean my two sons?" He goes, "Your two sons, would they like a glass as well?" And I said, "Do you think this man is my son?"
The 38-year-old.
38-year-old, yeah. I was like, that's stress, Kip.
What's
See, we've talked about stress. We can move on.
never done? Let's not cover it. I think stress in long-term care is there.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see what's stress in entrepreneurial.
Go ahead.
How do you manage stress? Like, that's got to be super difficult.
I would I'll answer the question, but I want to excuse me, kick it back to you real quick because I'll never forget the story. You told me this. It's like when you were an administrator, you would go to bed with your phone on your ear or on your pillow, right?
Yep.
So just kind of share that real quick because I think that's like clearly stress.
Stress. Oh, the administrative stress. I don't miss. It's hard. It's a different level. It's completely different now. But when I resigned and came to PHS, I will vividly remember putting my phone down on a charger. I had a charger kind of up like that and turning my ringer off.
You can't do that.
I can't do it. I've been doing it. Sorry, but we turned it off.
Yeah.
And it was just different having the ringer on all the time, and to not even really be able to get that great of a night of sleep.
Yeah.
If a fire goes or if something floods.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always in the back of your mind. Like no matter where you are, no matter where you stand, you have to worry about not only your staff members, but your residents as well. Like you have 250 people to worry about on a daily basis.
Yeah. I don't think that's not really how I equate stress. I think about back when I used to do rounds, and I was taking calls. I mean, there was not a night. I was 7 on, 7 off, and I would have to do med orders in the middle of the night every night. Like I'd usually get a call 1 to 3 in the morning, another one from 3 to 5 in the morning. So I wake up 2-3 times a night, every night, 7 nights in a week. I wouldn't say that was the stressful part. For me, stress is a problem without a solution. That's where I find stress. I'm just like, it's not that you're working hard or you're putting in a lot of hours or you're being bothered, you're not getting your sleep. It's when you don't feel like you have a light at the end of the tunnel. That's stress.
Because you're the only person?
I mean, I think it's harder when you're the only person.
Right.
But I mean, I wouldn't say there's less stress because you have more people. Now we have, 600 people around us and we're still deal with stressful events. But I quit calling them problems. I started calling them challenges.
Challenges. Yeah.
Challenges are not problems anymore. That's my thought on stress.
James can handle an immense amount of stress.
What?
An immense.
Well,
amount.
I mean, it's like a muscle, right?
Yeah.
You build it up, I guess. But the stress I have right now is this headphone doesn't stay on me. Told you I didn't want to wear headphones.
It's got your hair over here looking like Marty McFly.
Let's help you out on there. Let's go all the way. Go take it all the way up and all the way off. Now go back. There you go. Perfect. Oh, you missed it.
Oh my God. All right, how we doing? That's stress. Problem without a solution.
We found a solution pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's the, I always feel with stress, the quicker you work on it, the better you are, right? Because I mean, you sit there and you go, okay, I'm sitting here with this big challenge out in front of me. What am I going to do about this? And I always find that I will have that problem and then I will work towards a solution, or at least have a few different options. And then as soon as that happens, nothing's been done about the problem or the challenge. It's still there. But now that I have a solution or at least an idea of what I'm going to do about it, the stress level goes down 90% at that point. So that's my outlook on it, is that you just have to, as quickly as possible, address it. And the worst thing I think a lot of people do is they brush it up under the rug. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. You got to take care of it.
Yeah.
You got to address it. And that's hard, right? Because everybody wants to procrastinate.
Yeah. Do we talk about current events here?
Talk about whatever you want.
Talk about whatever you want. Are there any of current events that they're on that's front of your mind right now?
I mean, as far as it applies to this podcast,
yeah,
I would say, I'm very interested in seeing what is going to happen with the one big beautiful bill, and the Medicaid, the $1 trillion in Medicaid cuts over the next 10 years. I think that's going to flow down and have some effects on patient care.
Yeah.
Could potentially cause some problems. I'm not really sure, because there's an argument to be made that the cuts that were made actually bring us back to, I believe, the 2019 Medicaid levels. I think we're even spending more money than we did in 2019. This Medicaid went
it skyrocketed.
It skyrocketed during COVID 2020. So, you look at it from that perspective and you think, well, how much of the Medicaid money was going to people that frankly didn't really need it?
Yeah.
And I would like to think that none of those people are going to be in skilled facilities and whatnot. But, just that trickle-down effect. And I think that the jury's out on what's really going to happen. And there's still so much to read about the bill. But as far as current events as it relates to this, that's heavily on my mind. And what other, there's some other legislation we're thinking and looking at right now that's interesting to us?
You got anything on that?
I'm from the big beautiful bill standpoint. I think it's fresh, and so we're kind of trying to learn about it.
Yeah.
And kind of remains to be seen. I think it's actually something we should probably that would be guest worthy of someone who's an expert specifically with Medicaid. That can address it. But clearly, the big cut in the big beautiful bill that will impact long-term care skilled nursing is the Medicaid cuts, right? Which I think, if this is correct, it's like $1 trillion over 10 years, something like that. It's a lot of money. Is that correct?
Yep.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm looking at a summary here from Grok. But so that's the big thing, right? And then who's qualified, who's not qualified, and kind of to go through that. I think, you go through qualifications as far as like ability to hold a job and things of that nature. I think specific to skilled nursing, there's more nuance there. So I think like an expert who's really gone through it would be really worth our time to learn about. It's going to impact all of us,
I think that's what I'm most excited about this podcast is learning from others. Like, I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
Not an expert. Don't know everything. May misspeak. May do some things. Hopefully, I get most of it right. But it's going to be fun to have good conversations with people who know a whole lot more than me.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
excited
that's
about
for all
that.
of us, right? I think that we're going to touch on some really important topics that people want to hear about. I mean, I think it's really important that we get feedback from whoever's watching and listening. And what do you guys want to hear about?
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
What do you not want to hear about?
Probably hand washing techniques.
That's the best.
I think it's important. We didn't say this, but in the beginning, we obviously talked about that we do work together, but this isn't a marketing podcast, so to speak, right? Like this is really about us having fun and getting to speak with industry insiders. And so I think we'll run the gamut of whether we'll have directors of nursing on, directors of nursing, chief nursing officers. We'll probably have some building owners. I think it'd be cool to get like just a handful of CNAs. Like I think the whole gamut,
that'd be awesome.
Dietary, it's one of the things I talked to you about the other day as I saw that marketing online, and I was like, how brilliant is this? They're marketing good food, you know? And I think that stuff is really cool for us to learn about.
Food was one of the things that our residents look forward to the most.
Of course.
Like 3 things.
Yeah.
3 important things. I feel like they just fed. Like, of course, they get fed.
Yeah.
But they feed off their belly, their energy.
Yeah.
And if you
It's
had
also
good
a social aspect, right? I mean, you're there. This is where everybody comes together every day for their meals. They get to see the people they want to see. I mean, that's a big part of their mental health.
A lot of people, like, I don't talk about this a lot, but like, so my first job, I think you know this, but I worked in a memory care assisted living, independent living, in the restaurant, like as a server and then a bartender. And so I did everything from serving tables to working the expo in the kitchen to running. We ran our own curbside delivery to independent living, like, cause there was like a little community. And so we had a golf cart and we would do, delivery. But the food is like, that's their time. Like, and so you would, as a server, I mean, you develop like real relationships. And so like when I went away to college, I worked there for, 2.5 years. And then I worked a couple of summers, like when I came home. You develop real relationships over the dinner table, right? Or the lunch or whatever. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
We had family members that would come in and be like, how's the food? And they would be asking others, like, how's the food? How's the food?
Yeah.
And that was so important to be able to offer good quality food.
Yeah.
We see it online a lot.
Yeah.
See it online. Yeah. Oh, this is good. Look how good it looks.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just necessarily good food. It was like food that they want. And I think involving the residents, involving them with decision-making for the monthly activities. I think that when you do that well, I think it transcends your facility.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be one of the kind of focuses here, right?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that some facilities have great food and some don't?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, why we need to have some conversations with those that are excelling and try to see, hey, what is it that you are doing?
Yeah.
I would love to talk about staffing. If someone's really knowledgeable on how's the staffing, I mean, how's the staffing world? What's that look like?
Better now.
During COVID was rough.
It's like everybody was on agency.
Everybody.
Yeah.
and you were an anomaly if you didn't use agency during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I never did. I'm very thankful for that, but it was still.
How did you get away with no agency?
We did an excellent job of retaining people. Like that was, you had no choice. You had to, if someone had a problem, you couldn't just dismiss it. And there's so many like personnel problems. There's staffing problems with your schedule, people not showing up, all those things. And if you didn't immediately address it and address it in a correct way, people would leave.
Yeah.
Just absolutely leave. And I think that we were definitely blessed.
Yeah.
In the location and the people who were around us. We never used agency. And that was an absolute miracle. And there's a lot of people who didn't use agency. There's a lot of people who did. Not right, wrong, or indifferent, but it was just, we just got lucky.
Yeah.
We did things
I don't know if it was luck, man. You had to have a great culture to hold people there. You had a good comp package. You did things right.
The masks were hard.
Of course they were.
I still keep one in my DOP kit. I saw it over the weekend. I was like, why do I still have this?
Yeah.
A mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hard on everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Because you were just walking around. The N95s were probably the hardest. You couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Then you had the face shields. Like that's a lot. And to wear that 24/7, I have a whole new respect for all of the frontline workers.
Yeah.
Hospitals, nursing homes. They had a tough job.
For sure. Nursing homes got hit really hard.
Big time.
Yeah.
What else would you like to see? Who you want to talk to?
I mean, I think I kind of mentioned it. I think the gamut. I want to speak to a lot of people. Like I'm very interested in just the nuts and bolts of like how to run a P&L, right?
Yeah.
Which, it's something we constantly deal with. We're part of it, right? Like we land on your P&L, but everybody knows skilled nursing margins are razor thin.
Yeah.
And so just learning more about that of like what levers to pull and how to do that. Specifically, like there was just a major article about just fines being levied against nursing homes, specifically in Texas, which is a huge presence for us.
Yep.
Gone up
and so,
tremendously. It's gone up.
I mean, there was an article written, it's public now, but it was in McKnight's and about how this group went from, it was either $250,000 or $500,000 to like $2.1 million in fees in a year. And I'm like, whoa. That's just like lighting cash on fire.
Yep.
And when I speak, I know you speak to a lot of these folks, when I'm always curious. And so like anytime we're in a meeting, I like to just ask questions that necessarily don't apply to me, but I just want to learn. And, I had a really good conversation not too long ago with the gentleman. And he was like, some of them are right or some of them are wrong. But just the enforcement all of a sudden is like,
I think
it wasn't enforced and now it is, and it's coming in droves, but they certainly feel, this is just my kind of view from talking to people, so take it for what you will, but the operators certainly feel like it's us, like they're against them, versus like really what you want is
collaborative effort.
You want collaborative effort, right? And so I've heard some of these stories. You were with me at that one of those lunch meetings. It was like, we did everything. We did up the report. We self-reported that everything, and it was done. Everything looked great, and they cost them an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
They didn't respond to them for all these days, so the fines were levying. They moved the goalpost. They're like, well, you got to do this. They did that. They're like, oh, no, you have to do this now. And it's like, that's really challenging. So I think just learning to like getting someone specifically on regulation, like a lot of things, I think
I'm very interested to see the regulatory climate and what's going to happen, specifically in this next administration.
Yeah.
I mean, because these fines you're speaking of, it's all kind of historical. That's what's been going on. And that's a big part of the new guard, I guess, if you will, and see if it makes a change. But it seems like the regulatory climate's been just really ratcheted up over the years, and it's caused people a lot of problems.
That's tough.
I'm really looking forward to just seeing those that are, we're going to try to have some people on here that are actually writing legislation. I want to get some politicians on here that are involved in the back end of what's going on a federal standpoint, and also state, state of Texas specifically. I mean, we have most of our connections in the state where we're from, but we're also going to talk to some people outside and people in DC that just get different perspectives of what's going on, and the people who are writing the legislation out there are going to make the changes.
I think that would be really cool to hear.
Yeah. And I think that people want to understand like what's going on and why, right? I mean, there's so much, you start talking healthcare with people and they're just like, what?
Yeah.
Why? And I want to get some of those people on, and we want to sit down with them and ask them, hey, this thing doesn't make any sense to us.
Yeah.
Can you explain it, please? And there's some people that are trying to have some common sense approaches, and they're pushing out legislation that does make sense. So let's get them on and hear from them. So I'm excited to hear from those folks.
I'd love to get a Medicaid specialist online.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I think families could benefit from it. Just hearing, preparing, being proactive and not reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Just an insider perspective on like, hey, mom's about to go in the nursing home in the next 5 years. What to do? What should you do?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's a year out or she's going into it. Like, what can you expect? I think that would be really fun too, to just share with families and staff members and just everybody, like preparing for entering a nursing home, preparing to entering the space, and what to do 5-10 years post or pre.
Mm-hmm.
And then what to do when you're there. And then what reoccurring things do you have to do whenever you're in the space? I think when my grandmother went there, my family had no clue what to do.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Yeah.
And so they relied on me to be like, hey, guide us through this process, right?
Of course.
And so if they don't have someone who's directly involved, I think we could definitely get the word out to family members to say like, hey, here's how you do it. Because I don't know if there's another, in my understanding, there's not another podcast or another informational type message for the whole spectrum. So I'm excited to do that.
It's going to take some time to cover the spectrum.
Big time.
There's a lot going on. A lot going on out there.
We got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
But I think also when you bring in fresh perspectives of like people that are outside of us, like you get an appreciation. So as an example, if I'm a CNA or a DON listening to this, and all of a sudden I'm hearing the struggles of what dietary has or something completely unrelated to them as a vendor may have, like we could bring in a vendor as a Medicaid person may bring in and they talk about what their side, because generally we think of like, these are my problems and you're part of my problem, right? Versus like a Medicaid person may come in here and be like, this is what we're working through. And so gaining that kind of like eyes into and appreciate what the person that you're ultimately working with, right, gives you a better appreciation for what's going on, which is one of the things we always try to do at our annual meetings is like we bring in people and tell us about what your struggle is so that we can understand and appreciate that when we're interacting with you, you know? And I think this will be a way to do that in a form of like, for a broader audience. So I think it'll be fantastic for us just to learn. I feel like I'm going to learn so much.
Same.
But also hopefully for people listening too.
Be a part of a solution.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not often that you see or hear that or anyone's trying to push that. And I think from an administrator perspective, that's refreshing. They're like, hey, these guys aren't just our vendor or aren't just a partner. They're a true partner with us. They're helping us find solutions to our problems too. And how refreshing that is.
I mean, that's what it's going to take. If we're really going to improve patient outcomes and experiences throughout a community, it's got to be a group effort.
Right.
You're going to have to come together. And the building can't do it by themselves. The vendors can't do it by themselves. But if everybody comes together, we can get things done.
Yeah.
And we've seen that now, right? I mean, we've actually been able to do some measurements there. We're doing a little bit of research just to start to really quantify the amount of impact. But, when you get together and you work together and you have good partnerships between vendor and customer and whatnot.
I mean, that's a movement.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea. That's what we're doing here.
It's a movement.
It's a movement.
You heard it here first. Our Purpose Summit 2027.
our Purpose movement. I like it.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
What do you have anything else to cover? First episode? I feel like it went real.
This is introductory. I thought it was good.
It's good.
Come on, tell me. Tell me.
No, man. I mean, we're just introductory. We'll get into some meat later.
It's gonna be fun.
It's
gonna be different.
We'll get real meaty. I want to get real meaty. I want to learn a lot. I want to try to have a lot of discussion about very specific topics that we can go deep. Things that people wonder and don't know about. And I want to bring in the kind of people that will provide the advice and the information, the instruction to get us where we want to go.
I will say, my hope is like when we get people in, what I don't want it to be, I guess you could say, is like very surface level and people who are afraid to share. And so part of the way I think we can help people get there is by being vulnerable ourselves.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get folks who are willing to kind of share some of the nitty gritty that they're able to share. And it's not all kind of like, shiny bells and whistles. and we can get into kind of real content,
I like that.
which I think will be super helpful if
100%.
we're able to get there.
Yeah. I mean,
That's certainly would be the goal.
if we don't have really great content that is informative and instructional, then I'm going to be bored and I'm out of here.
Yeah. I hope we can shine a light.
There we go.
Absolutely.
I mean, I got a tattoo of a lighthouse. I think that's super important for me, prospectively.
Nice. Good, Kip.
Thank you. I definitely want to share a light on. I was able to. I think I was able to shine a light on my home whenever I was there, and I haven't been able to do that in a while. So I'm really looking forward to having conversations and really bringing a light back to the nursing home, skilled nursing facility area where we can talk about the good stuff.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
This is good, guys.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Looking forward to
This time next week. Something like that.
Won't be in the same country as you won't, right?
Yeah. Just want to say thank you all for listening. That was podcast episode 1, season 1. Maybe we can have a lot more. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons. But this is Our Purpose Podcast. I'm Kip Kruger, James Dieter.
Chris Light.
We appreciate you listening. Talk soon.
Thank you.